Welcome to the official AFL Fantasy podcast with the Traders.
G'day with the Traders. Thanks to Sportsbet, I'm Roy. I coach Destroy, and I'm here with Warnie.
Coach of the Wanderers.
And Calvin.
Coach of Calvin Tour.
Righto, boys. We are looking at one hell of a premiership hangover by the Geelong Cats. Fair to say the age did catch up with them.
That's it.
Last year. Out of the top 8, fantasy relevance all but gone.
Yep. Gone are the good old days. ABC. The ABC.
Where are they?
Ablett, Bartel, Corey days.
Oh.
Like the SD.
No.
Not much going
There's
on.
no letters to talk about.
There's not really. Well, there is a couple. That's a little
There are
bit
a couple.
disrespectful. And, well, what I also do see is rather than criticising the ageing,
Yep.
it opens up the opportunity for a lot of youngsters, and I think that is going to be happening straight away.
All right. Where are we going to start? Do we start at the top?
Well, you can if you like. I'm going to start with a little bit of a squirt. Not that I received. It was put out there in the socials.
A social squirt.
About Tom Stewart. So that is the top.
Yep.
Now, there's a little rumour going around that Tom may be interested in expanding his game.
Because he said that. He wants to do it.
He wants to do it, and, well,
Is
really.
that just like what you tell your boss in your PDP?
Well, you look at
like you go in there and you go, yes, no, I'd like to.
I don't want to teach maths. I want to teach PE.
Yep.
Yeah, it's exactly like that. And when you're the best teacher in a school, dog, you get to call the shots.
That's
You
it.
should see my timetable.
So exactly right.
That's how good you are. You actually don't teach anymore.
So Tom Stewart, he is the man.
He's the man.
And he can call the shots. Now, Tom Stewart, more midfield time.
Okay.
Look, it's great in theory because he is so good, but he's also their best defender by
That's it.
a country mile.
Yeah.
And Dangerfield has even said that.
Yes.
He's the best defender in the whole competition.
On the same day he's come out and said he'd like to play more in the middle.
Because Danger hates losing CBAs. It's
That's
been
it.
happening
That's
more and
probably
more. But Tom Stewart, as a midfielder, is damn good. Cal, you got some numbers over
I've
there?
got it here. Worked hard over the night to find this. So in rounds 17, 19 and 23, spent some time in the middle. So we're looking at 12%, 26% and 53%. So that
53% was a big one.
it's a big one. In that one, he scored 116.
That was against the Lions. How many?
116.
But that's what he can do as a
Yeah, but in
defender.
the other two, a 111 and a 133.
With a little bit. Like, they're not massive midfielders,
But
but
it's
some.
floating through.
It is. So the thing is, we always think of Tom Stewart as a 100 guy.
Yep.
But something always happens. He never actually ends up being a 100
No.
guy. This little increased midfield time thing, if it was real,
Yep.
and I know there's a lot of more midfield time guys every year, but if this one was real, that could be just what he needs to become that 100 guy.
So he's about to turn 31.
But doesn't he take marks that gets him the points with that
you
stop
know what?
thing?
Hey, did you not listen to what I just said, Dom?
It's a big sample size you've got there.
3.
Do you think, though, that he, at the end of a quarter, wouldn't still float
Yeah,
back?
well,
and
that's the thing.
Yeah, he would.
He would. So anyway, I think it's very interesting, to be honest, because usually I laugh at more midfield time stuff, but with Tom Stewart, my ears prick up.
He might become that 100 guy based off that.
Yeah, Geelong do have the opening round bye, okay, which is why we've seen his name pop into a few teams already.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it means that he doesn't have one of those early buys, plays
Correct.
through, and that's,
And also, he's, by AFL terms, he's a little bit younger than what his age suggests because he hasn't been in it as long.
Okay.
So we can factor that in. They also need
He's an
him.
option.
They also need him in the guts, to be honest. They haven't got a lot. Now, one person they are hoping can turn things back around and actually be the leader of the resurgence through the midfield is Cam Guthrie.
Another old bloke.
Yeah, exactly. So he's past 30 as well, but realistically, he didn't play good footy till his 11th year. So he's
true.
young in terms of his body in the AFL as well. Now, those 2 years that pricked our eyes and ears up was that 110 average in 2021, and then he backed that up with a 96.
Okay.
So that was like all of a sudden, hey, that dude can play.
Yep.
So that's why we're looking at him, and he's priced at 84. So
so that 762K
Yes.
is way below what it was 2 years ago.
100%. And they
25
want
points, essentially.
And they want him being that 110 type guy, obviously, because they want him to be the leader of the midfield brigade. So he's underpriced.
That is the question that we've got on that great article, Roy, on AFL.com.au. You can go and click on that and
Roy. It was
get
amazing.
in there and make some... have your say in this poll. What will Cam Guthrie average in 2024?
Yep.
Best season yet, 110 plus. Good, 100 to 109. Won't deliver under 100.
Well, I think
If you're going to put a number on it, what is it?
Probably 98.
Look, and I'm with you. 98.
So it's under 100.
But
Yeah.
that's in
Is
the
that still a win, though?
But
That's the thing.
That's better than a not deliver.
It is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is a win if you can get to 98. So
Right, this poll.
I'm just looking at his season here. He opened the year with a 54. Okay,
Yes.
a 54. From
Yeah.
that point on, he went at 93.
Yeah.
But he was subbed out in his last game with that injury.
Yes.
So, yes, he can be that high 90.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
Keep an eye on Roy.
Now-
Track the pre-season.
Like the funny thing with the
Is
Cats.
that what he is?
So,
Track the pre-season?
I'll tell you what. I reckon he would have been. It makes sense.
yeah.
Yeah, he was. Now, it's funny because no one averaged 100 for him.
Yeah.
And then there was only 2 in the 90s, of course, Tom Stewart, and then Mitch Duncan still
Oh, Mitch.
kicking around. So he got defender status
he's
again.
always
So
relevant.
He's someone that you'll pick up in draft.
Of course you will.
If you've got some depth there to
Yep.
hopefully back
him
up the
for
games he
those
misses.
weeks.
Now, as I said, the youngsters is where I'm looking.
Right.
Now, look, if Tom Stewart did go in the middle, right, that opens up a spot even for the youngster, Connor O'Sullivan, to maybe get games at some stage. Now, if you've actually tracked his career as a junior, he is not just the elite intercept defender that we saw in the carnivals. He's actually, he can play anywhere, that kid. But he's probably not going to be necessarily in the round one team, but he's one that I'm comfortable to certainly keep an eye on. The youngsters that really have me excited, well, okay, let's use that term a little less loosely because their first draft pick, who you would assume is a youngster, but it's not at all. So Shaun Mannagh, he's coming in at 200,000.
Yep.
He's 25 years old.
What? We love you, Sean.
And their history of plucking these guys and backing them in is good. So
What can you tell me about him?
I can tell you I'm pretty comfortable putting him on my ground at the moment.
Oh, my. Yep.
I think he's going to walk into their round one team.
200K.
25 possessions, 4 marks, 6 tackles in the VFL.
Right.
For 110.
Yeah.
He's every chance to walk straight into their midfield.
Yeah.
And be unleashed.
Yep.
He's young in their midfield.
I had a look at his season.
Yeah.
Listen to some of these scores.
Okay, go.
155, 146,
Yeah.
138, 129,
Yeah.
129.
He doesn't muck around. They've
He does
actually
not.
just gone, oh, you're a Jet. We will pick you.
Like
Get
even here in his last game, 29 touches, 2 goals. He kicks a couple of goals a game.
He loves a goal.
For 120.
Everything
Like he
about
finds
that's
the
good.
peel, kicks the goals.
Yeah.
6 tackles a game.
If he's there round one, then he's an absolute lock.
Yep.
Oh,
And maybe an on-field lock,
Yes.
like for our team.
Yeah,
Did you
definitely.
dig any more into his stats? Did you find his under 18 numbers?
yeah, under 18, dog. I'm pretty sure he was really good.
Happened about a decade ago.
Yeah, he was great.
They didn't take stats back then.
No, he was really good, though.
Okay, while we're on the youngster, in the youngster department, I'm going to have a little bit of a look at Jhye Clark.
Okay.
Played one
Okay.
game, didn't he?
Yeah,
last year?
well, you could use that term loosely because he played a quarter, basically. So he came on as sub, played a quarter, but what he did in that time, 6 possessions, and what do you say about tackles? You like them, don't you?
I love tackles.
He had 5.
He had 5 in a quarter.
Had 5. Yep. So
He could have broken Newcomb's record.
100%. So absolute jet. Now, 237. This is another dude who I'm happy to potentially put on the ground. If both of those guys are named, there you go, fellas. Go for it.
Yeah.
Well, we're paying less for him now than what we would have done last
yeah.
year.
Isn't that amazing? So my flag with him is pre-Christmas. He was still training in the yellow hat.
Right.
Yeah.
So he was training well, but it was no contact, don't touch, Jhye.
It's the way I like to be training.
Exactly. Yeah. Did you wear out all the time when
I
you
did.
trained?
No one came near me.
Well, it wasn't because of the hat. But anyway, so he's someone that I rate highly.
Yep.
And we all rated him highly going into it last year. So he's one that we will be putting on our ground if he is named.
Number 8
Right.
pick he was.
Yep.
So, yep. Can get it done.
Mm-hmm.
Let's hope so.
Now, from the Cats, there's a lot of names there like Danger, late in a draft.
Oh.
You'd take the big fella.
Yeah.
Could he
would.
potentially, like he's going to pick up forward status at some point
Yep.
in the twilight of his career. Again, like he's done it before, but it's going to happen in one of these last couple of
Yeah.
years.
Yep.
He'll still he will never ever be in the role in 22 mix again. He'll never be in the mix again, even when he has a forward status. No, and that's a very harsh thing to say.
What do you think about him, Calvin?
Mate,
Have you made up?
Oh, look, we've had a long career together.
Yeah.
Me and Dramafield. So, yeah, we've parted ways.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
Yeah.
But that's okay.
Disappointing. Now, someone who was in the mix early in the season was Jeremy Cameron because he was on fire. 101, 137 and 138 in the first 4 weeks.
Yep.
That was huge.
Yep.
But obviously he's someone you'd probably look at draft as well.
Yeah,
we're not going to start with him.
But he still finished with an average of, what do you get to, 83.
Yeah.
That would rank him very, very highly in the forwards.
Yes. So,
very highly in the forwards.
As far as cats go, you got names like, who do we look at last year? Bose.
Oh, yeah.
Disappointing.
He was, yep.
Yeah, he's the sort of draft guy, maybe, because he did an 80 when he was at the Suns.
Yeah.
And so you're getting value there at the 60 average. When that's next to his name when you're doing your draft rankings, you might bump him up.
Yeah.
I assume that he plays as a defender. That's what he does. It's just some of those names there too have got the mid-only status, which just makes them not as attractive, especially even in draft. You see there's some improvement that can be had by a lot of guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, gosh.
What about
it's a hard list to look at, really.
Toby Conway?
The ruck.
Yeah, so he played that round 24 game.
Yeah, right.
They brought him in for that, which wrecks his price, but so it's still 316.
Okay.
Is that too much to put on your bench if he's getting a game?
Could be. They drafted a ruck, didn't they? That Joe Furphy.
You'd be playing that Conway, though, I reckon.
Yeah.
That Furphy's 24.
Yeah, right, okay. He's probably
Mature
older than me.
Yeah. So anyway, have a look at roles because if for example they did name him number one ruck, we would be putting him there because even though you're paying a bit more, the cash generation from a sole ruck would be nuts. So
especially if they just use Blix as a chopping.
Well, that's the thing. You got to look at what they're doing with him. So he's obviously got his DPP ruck.
He's got the ruck mid status.
He's a unique and awesome beast, really. But see where he's playing because that dictates a lot of things.
I just don't think they're overly keen on Reece Stanley anymore. I think that boat sailed.
They keep rolling him out there.
They do.
I reckon he'll roll out again, to be honest. But yeah.
Anyway, they've got a few options.
Yeah, but it's ironically the youngsters
it's
where we're looking at.
But they're 25-year-old youngsters. They're not your Coley McKirches. They're your 25-year-old dinosaurs, Roy.
Yep.
We love them.
We love them.
We love them, all right.
Yeah.
No, do they make the 8 this year?
No, they don't.
No. But we could have 2 rookies in the midfield on our ground.
On our ground.
Not really rookie with Clark, but yeah.
Yep. There you go.
Asterix.
That is Geelong. Don't know if I'll be picking any. A couple of rookies. That's where it's going to be.
Yeah, definitely.
Round 1 teams is going to be all important for their selection in our fantasy teams, which you can be picking at fantasy.afl.com.au. Make sure you're hitting us up on social. Plenty of stuff going on there.
You've been listening to the official AFL Fantasy podcast. For more expert advice from the traders, head to afl.com.au/fantasy.